The inner critic is that voice inside your head that degrades and judges you, whether it's warranted or not. I remember this song that came out a few years back that said something like, I wouldn't talk to a friend the way I talk to myself. And it's so true. You just have this voice inside you that says you're bad, unworthy, that you're guilty, you're inadequate, whatever it's saying at the moment, but it's never good. That inner critic can produce feelings of depression, low self esteem, low self confidence, deficiency, shame. The inner critic develops in childhood and is a reflection of your early childhood experiences. If you grew up with parents who were abusive, your inner critic is going to be like an internalized parent. Your inner critic, though, can also be influenced by society and those expectations. Hearing harsh criticism from your parents, your peers, from teachers, from any kind of caregiver can actually change the way your brain develops. So then that inner critic manifests as negative thoughts that distorts how you see things about your life. That inner critic can drive a person to have unrealistic standards that make you feel worthless if you don't meet those standards. That's one of the biggest reasons that we have to, repattern ourselves, maybe even reparent ourselves into a life where we love ourselves and we are doing what we want to do. That's the whole reason for this course. Besides the losing the stress part, which we'll get to, but we have to love ourselves first. So on this day 5 of Love Yourself, Lose the Stress, we're going to talk about how to recognize that inner critic is happening. We talked a little bit about that before around day, I think it was day maybe 3, 4, but we talked about, when those negative thoughts arrive. So we're going to talk more about that today and how to stop it in its tracks. Now, this is the first time you're ever seeing one of my videos and you want to jump back into the course, go back to day 1. You can definitely do that. Just go to my page and start there. Or if you're seeing this a few days after I posted it, you can also go back and do that. You can start wherever you feel comfortable, but day 1 through today, day 5 and beyond will be available on my page. We are going to start with how to be your own best friend. Again, this is where the love yourself comes into this course. So today, I want you to identify the times when you are talking to yourself as a friend would. So when you're being calm, when you're being supportive, like if you say to yourself, I did a pretty good job on that. That would be what your best friend would say. They go, oh, look, you did a really great job. Remember, this is a big one, that your friends allow for mistakes. And I think that's a big one with a lot of people. I think we beat ourselves up a lot when we make mistakes. So today, if you make a mistake on something, try to imagine how your best friend would talk to you when you told them the situation. So then I want you to write these down and everything that you said to yourself that day, write them down on a piece of paper. We've talked about that before, that sometimes it's not as helpful to your brain if you do this on an electronic device, but putting pen to paper really makes that connection with your brain. So write it down on a piece of paper, all the ways that you are being a good friend to yourself. The reason why it's important to have this list and in your own words is so you can look back at this and say, this is how a best friend would treat me. And this is how I be a best friend to myself and love myself. Now, if you find yourself with an active or overactive inner critic, this is going to take you a while. And that's okay. You might only find one way in which you were a good friend to yourself. You may not find any ways, but now that kind of opens you up to go, okay, I kind of know what I need to do now. And to catch yourself when you start to go into that, oh, I'm so stupid. You can go, oh, I'm doing it again. What would my best friend say to myself? They would say, give yourself some grace. You're not stupid. You just made a mistake. So do this throughout the week. See what happens. And you might start to overcome that inner critic. Don't forget to follow and share. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 7.